Hello and welcome everyone to this Lancer Studio recording of the rubber match between the Long Beach Vikings and the Pasadena City Lancers. Today's game is not only pivotal to these two teams' series play, but also the CCC AA standings as well. Looking at the standings, as of last night, these two teams are neck and neck in that 4-5 seeding, only 3 games differentiating the two. Pitching today for Pasadena is going to be Jonathan Bracamonte, who last time we saw him pitch a complete game shutout. Has a total ERA of just over 4 at 4.05, Ks per 9 of 3.38, and 40 innings pitched. Just a few moments till we see the first pitch of this game. Bracamonte out there warming up. Behind the plate for Pasadena is going to be Isaac Tone. See the Vikings going to bat first in this one. Bracamonte on the mound. Batting first for the Vikings is going to be Miles Fendrick, the center fielder. First pitch is going to be outside for a ball. Fendrick coming into this one has an average of 366, leading average for the team. Batting in that leadoff spot. Second pitch is going to be outside once again for a ball, so it's going to be 2 balls and no strikes on Fendrick. Bracamonte just trying to get a strike on the count. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be fouled back. 2-1. As mentioned before, this is the rubber match between these two teams, playing 2 games before this one. Fourth pitch of the at-bat, and that one is going to be a ball as well. So it's going to be 3-1. Hitters count here for Fendrick in the first. Last time we saw Bracamonte, there was a little bit of a shakiness in that first inning we saw him pitch, but he kind of coasted throughout the game. See what he does here. And that's going to be a foul ball. It's going to make it a full count, 3-2 on the leadoff hitter for the Vikings. See, 6 feet tall from Cypress High School. A lot of players for the Vikings coming from that school. 175. See if he can use that weight to drive one here. Bracamonte hoping not to see that. Here is the pitch, and that one is going to be high, and that's going to be a walk on a full count there. That's going to get the leadoff runner on for the Vikings. That's going to bring up Enrique Lopez. The Vikings already getting a runner on in this first inning, trying to find some pressure. This pitch to Enrique is going to get below. It's going to stay, or it's going to go into center field there. Runner is going to be on first and second now. Quick work by Enrique Lopez. So Bracamonte in a little bit of a challenging spot here with runners on that left side of the diamond already. Here's that pitch. That's going to be low. Isaac having to look up for that one, make sure that the runners stay in place. See that second? Our runner on second, that's going to be Fendrick. Watching for those signs, maybe he can get a read on him. Trying to keep these runners in places. Runners on third and second, no outs would be quite the position for a good start for the Vikings. Bracamonte pitching to Rodriguez, and this one is going to be low again. 3 balls, no strikes. Bracamonte just trying to find the zone here. This one is going to be outside. That's a 4-pitch walk to the 3-hole hitter, and now bases are loaded early on in this one. Garrett Rodriguez working the second walk for the Vikings here in the first inning. It's going to bring up Aaron Mingo, who's the cleanup hitter for the Vikings, playing right field today. There's going to be a meeting on the mound, as this is not the start that Bracamonte or the Lancers wanted to see early on in this one. Coach just trying to have a talk to his guys. After the last game we saw, which was against Golden West, they lost 16-3. That recording on our YouTube channel, but that was a tough one, and we saw the coach. He had some words for his players after a massive loss, coming off of 4 straight wins, and the team lost by 13 runs. Since that loss, they've gone 2-1. So PCC trying to not put themselves in a hole early in this one. Bracamonte in a tough position though. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be outside for a ball, so that, or a strike there. So Bracamonte finally getting one in. Playing with the advantage now in this count will definitely be a help for Bracamonte, as before, 4 straight balls. Mingo here swings, and that one's going to go right back to the catcher, and that's going to be a second strike on Aaron Mingo. A strikeout would be huge for Bracamonte, opening up a position where a double play would get him out of this trouble from Wilson High School. Aaron Mingo standing at 6'5". Here's that pitch, and that's going to be drilled, but that's going to be foul ball. Hitting right off that net. This batter is going to be massive for Bracamonte, as he's in the advantage here. No balls and 2 strikes. If he can get him out. Here's the pitch to Mingo, and that one's going to be low for a ball. Going to make it 1-2. Going to be the 5th pitch of the at-bat. Bracamonte had 11 pitches total, and that one's going to be fouled back once again. They're going to see if it stays in play. Isaac trying to reach for it, and he's going to get that, and that's going to be a massive first out for the Lancers, as Isaac Tone having to run around, and that's going to be sending Aaron Mingo out, as that's a pop-up to the catcher. See, catcher for the Lancers is Isaac Tone, having to field his position all the way back there, but now that's going to bring Slager in. Carson Slager, the first baseman for the Vikings. That's a big first out. Here's that pitch, and it's going to be low for a ball. Bracamonte probably sweating out all of these pitches on early. High pressure spot. Just over 80 degrees here at Jackie Robinson Field. That one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler. It hits the runner at first, and so the runner is going to be out there. And so it's going to bring 1 run in. Let's see. A little bit of confusion here. It looks like they're just going to say you have Desai up. So the runner's going to be out. No run score after that. goes in as a force out there. And that's Desai right there. Is going to hit one into center field. 1 run comes across, 2 runs there. And so Long Beach, after that confusing play, is going to start off this game with a lead. It's going to be 2-0 after a 2 RBI single by Desai. Still going to have runners on first and second. Bracamonte already looking at that scoreboard and seeing a lead for the Vikings. You see Eric Espinoza in there now, number 4. Espinoza playing left field. The righty in there. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler. It's going to get past that little center spot of the infield, and that's going to bring 1 run across. Runner stays at third, so it's going to be bases loaded again for the Vikings, and it's going to make it. Let's see. Actually, the runner's going to stay there at third. There was no runner on third, my fault. So it's going to be bases loaded still, as Espinoza hits a little bit of a chopper right between Chris Torres and Cisneros, or Logan Parker and Cisneros. Bases loaded here once again. That's a big cut at it from Howard. Ben Howard, the shortstop. We're looking at the 16th pitch here for Bracamonte here in the first. Desai out there on second base, and that one's going to be fouled back. No chance for Tone to get that one. Slagger out there on third base, and that one's going to be just low for a ball. It's going to make it 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two outs here for Bracamonte, trying to get out of this one. There's been a lot of traffic on the base paths. Here's that pitch, and that one is going to be drilled, but that's going to be Cisneros. He's going to get the out easily at second base, so Pasadena limits the damage to 2 runs. But let's just do a quick recap. That was a walk, a single, a walk, a force out there after the ball hits the runner at first base, and then a 2-run RBI by Desai, which is that difference in the game right now. The Vikings leading 2-0 as Pasadena is going to have to get the bats and start in a hole early here. Looking at the lineup for PCC, Omar Cisneros is going to lead off this game, followed by Giovanni Ochoa, Luke Bauer, Chris Torres at the cleanup spot, Joaquin Saucedo playing first, Isaac Tone, we already called his name a couple of times, behind the plate for catcher, Escamilla there at left field. Gerfine is a new face that we've seen in the lineup. In the last 2 games he was not there, but he's playing the DH hole. Logan Parker at second base, and Bracamonte on the mound. Bracamonte already having quite the job set out for him in that first inning, but now he gets to get quite a rest on the bench as we see the pitcher for Long Beach, is going to be Anthony Buenceda. Buenceda has a ERA just under 5, 4.93 in 7 games pitched. 6 of those being starts, 34.2 innings pitched total. Pasadena hoping to grow that ERA here. Buenceda out there on the mound. And that one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler right there by Cisneros. It's going to be an out. Throwing across the diamond is Yeshua Desai. That's going to be a quick out right there. Following that up is going to be Giovanni Ochoa, who has been the face out there in center field for Pasadena in the 3 games that we've been here for. First pitch to Ochoa is going to be low for a ball. Buenceda's third pitch already got 1 out on the board. Here it comes. And that's going to be outside for a ball. So 2-0 count on Ochoa. Third pitch to the at bat. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and that's going to be another ball. So 3 balls in the count for Ochoa. Very much a batter's count. See if what he chooses to do, if he has a red light here, if he's just trying to get on base. Maybe he could be swinging if he gets one. And that is going to be in there easily for a strike. Ochoa watching that one all the way through. Fifth pitch of the at-bat, and that one is going to be low, so it's going to be a walk there for Ochoa. We saw a bunch for the Vikings, and right here, PCC gets their first walk of the game, as Giovanni's going to take the stroll there to first base. Now it's up to Luke Bauer here with 1 out on the board. Here's that pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. Hear a bunch of noise coming from PCC's dugout. Buenceda throwing 3 balls in a row. Luke Bauer has a average of .337. Trying to add to that here, or if not, keeping it the same. And that one is going to be a strike there, so Buenceda finally finds the zone. Once again, he's only thrown 3 strikes today, 1 of those for an out. Two-one count, Buenceda to Bauer. And that's going to be a big cut at it, but Bauer's going to foul that one into the glove. 2-2 count now. Even count here at 2-2, and that one is going to be just low for a ball. You saw Enrique Lopez trying to frame that one up. Not going to get the umpire to bite at it. Full count here on Bauer. Buenceda also having to work a lot for these first 3 batters. And that one's going to be a dribbler. It's going to get past the infield, so that's going to be a nice hit. See, runner is going to stay at the corners. Ochoa was bolting past second base, now lives at third. And that is a nice single there for Luke Bauer. So both of these pitchers having to face a little bit of traffic here. Pitch is going to be a ball. Up to bat is Chris Torres, the third baseman for Pasadena from Crescenta Valley. One-0 count, and that is going to be in there for a strike. It's going to even it out at 1-1 on Torres. Big position here for Pasadena with runners on the corners. Already down 2 runs, but if they can get one, hopefully they can bring both of those runners home to even out this game. Here's a pitch, and that one is going to be outside for a ball. It's going to be 2-1 now on Torres. Torres, the freshman third baseman, has a average just over 300. They're going to do a little bit of a pickoff attempt, but that was a off-brand throw from Buenceda. First disengagement there. Remains 2-1 on Torres. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be swing on and fouled back. Even out the count at 2-2. Buenceda also throwing double-digit pitches here already. It's going to be the 13th pitch of the inning for him here. Here it comes, and Torres is going to take that one high. Full count now on Torres. Second full count we've seen Buenceda deal with here, and that one's going to be fouled back. Torres staying alive. Might be a long one here for these pitchers, as both of them having to put the work in. Torres takes that one. It's going to be a walk. Runner goes at first, but doesn't matter at all, as it's going to be bases loaded now, 1 out for Pasadena. Joaquin Salcedo is now coming up to bat with a bases loaded opportunity. Salcedo has an average of 274 with 14 RBIs on the season. Hoping to add to that number right here, as this is quite the position. Here it goes, and that's going to hit him. He's going to get an RBI there. A hit by pitch is going to bring across the first run of the game for Pasadena, as he just wears that one. He gets Pasadena on the board. It's 2-1 now with bases remaining loaded. Lopez is going to go talk to his pitcher out there on the mound. Some batters just choose to do anything they can to get out the way of some wild pitches, but right there, Saucedo made the move out, but he wore it like a champ and got his team on the board. Now to bat is Isaac Tone, the catcher. And that first one is going to be a ball here, and that was almost a bad throw from his fellow catcher, Lopez, behind the plate. Maranatha, he's been playing at this field for quite a while. This Maranatha also plays at Jackie Robinson Field. 1-0 count. That one is going to be high once again. So it's been a lot of balls from Buenceda. Struggling to find the zone here. And when he does, it's kind of late in the at-bats. Third pitch, and that one is going to be inside for a ball. Having to move slightly out of the way of it, and so that's going to be 3 balls, no strikes. The dugout for Pasadena is on the edges, constantly making noise. Buenceda just trying to cool down, find his zone, but right here it's been a challenge. 3-0 count, here's the pitch, and that one's gonna be outside for a ball, and that is gonna be back-to-back walks. Well, one of them being a hit by pitch. 3 walks in a row. Isaac Tone heading to first base with the RBI. It's gonna be a tied game here, 2-2 now, early on in the first inning. First pitch is in there for a strike, and that is going to be Escamilla. Jacob Escamilla is playing left from LaSalle. (1-0 count, or 0-1 count on Escamilla. That's going to even it out at 1-1. Both of these teams putting pressure on their pitchers early. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be on the ground. They get the out at second, throw across, they get the out at first. A double play to get out of the inning by the Vikings. And that's going to be massive there as that score remains 2-2. We're going to go to the second, but almost a 30-minute first inning here. Long Beach and then Pasadena tied up 2-2, going to the second. Looking at the lineup for Long Beach, we've already seen a couple of these guys come up to bat. Miles Fendrick playing center field. Enrique Lopez, the catcher there. And it's going to be Garrett Rodriguez, the DH. Aaron Mingo is playing first base. Carson Slager at first. And that's Yeshua Desai there in the infield at third. Eric Espinoza is in the outfield at left field. And then Ben Howard at short. And then that is going to be Cross Steffens at second base. And then we've already seen Anthony Buenceda there put in the work, as both of these pitchers have had quite the day already, not getting much of a break. But luckily for Bracamonte, who's now on the mound for Pasadena, he's had a good amount of time to relax and think about that last inning that we saw from him, where he had 2 walks allowed and then 2 hits, or 3 hits allowed. So Cross Steffens is going to be the batter here. We're going to see Cross Steffens, and then back to the top of the lineup with Miles Fendrick and Enrique Lopez. Cross Steffens in the batting box here for the Vikings. The 9-hole hitter. Leading off here in the second. That one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler. Bracamonte fielding his position, throws to first, and they get the quick out. 1 pitch, 1 out there for Bracamonte. And you see Steffens going back to the dugout, not quite happy of his at-bat. Miles Fendrick now up to bat, and that's going to be a 2 pitches. Cisneros throws across, and that is what a throw. Quite low, but he gets the second out. 2 pitches, 2 outs for Bracamonte, and this is what you want to see after that very long first inning. 26 pitches, but he's now at 2 outs in the second. So 6-3 putout is what sends Miles Fendrick back to the dugout. And Enrique Lopez, the catcher for the Vikings, stepping in. Wearing that 2-2 on his back. Scores 2-2. Bracamonte, that's going to be a foul ball, so we don't see a 3-pitch inning here. Lopez had that single and eventually came into score after that 2 RBI single by Yeshua Desai. And that one is going to go foul here. You see the umpire running over to it. That one just barely out of play. Salcedo going as far as he can, but just not far enough. This 0-2. Bracamonte is just 1 pitch away from getting out of the second inning in a quite timely manner. That one's going to be a foul ball. Sophomore at Long Beach Community College, and this one is going to be low. Long Beach City College, same as Pasadena. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be fouled off once again. So Lopez has a way with making sure to get bat on ball here. Another pitch in this at-bat to Lopez, and that one is going to be low and inside for a ball, so it's going to even it out at 2-2. Lopez wearing 2-2. 2 outs. Second inning, scores 2-2. Deuce is wild here. Here's that pitch, and that one is going to be in there for a strike, and that's going to be a strikeout on Enrique Lopez, first for Bracamonte, and what an inning for him. Getting back-to-back outs on 2 pitches. And right there, head into the dugout after that strikeout. He's got to be feeling good, as that's going to bring Pasadena back up to bat. Poinsettia stepping back onto the mound here, as Pasadena is going to see Escamilla, Griffin, and Parker. The bottom of their lineup up to bat for Pasadena. Both of these pitchers having similar pitch counts after that first, and then you saw Bracamonte working quite the quick one, or quick top of the second. Now here, Diego Griffin from South Pass. Here's the pitch. And that one is going to be a ball. It's going to be 1-1 now. After a bunch of work on these pitchers in those first innings, they just got to cool down, but Poinsettia not getting much time to. Roughly 7 minutes between his last pitch in the first and then his first pitch here in the second. So only a short breather for him. As he's in there, it's going to be 2-1. Finding the zone has been the struggle for Poinsettia. And that one is going to be outside, and that's going to be a ball 3-1. Poinsettia already allowing 3 walks. And then the at-bats that he has been working in have been going full. He also had a hit by pitch on Joaquin Salcedo. 3-1 count. Could we see another walk here to start it? Here's that pitch, and that one is going to be high, and then Escamilla ready to run. Sprints to his first base position after working a walk here in the second. First pitch here to Logan Parker. That's going to be Griffin crashing at first. Escamilla grounded into a double play. They try to get him out at first base right there. Catcher throwing, but no work there. Griffin's going to stay at first. One count on Logan Parker, and that one is going to be high for a ball, so it's going to be 2-1 now. Two-one count on Parker. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be high. They're going to throw again at second base, or at first base. Griffin taking quite the lead, but Enrique Lopez not able to gun him down quite yet. It's going to be 3-1. Back-to-back 3-ball counts for Poinsettia. That one is going to be outside. Parker thought it was outside, but umpire's going to call it a strike, so the count is going to go full here. .33 pitches for Poinsettia here in just 2 innings. 3-2 count. That one is going to be fouled back. Logan Parker staying alive. Griffin ready to run, but having to go back. I know he wishes he could just stay at second, not have to walk back, but not the way of the game. Parker trying to get his focus here at home plate. 3-2 count. The runner on first, Poinsettia. Here comes the pitch. And that one's going to be high, and that's going to be back-to-back walks here for the Lancers. And so we got runners on first and second, and that's going to flip over the lineup as Omar Cisneros is going to come in. Grounded out on a 5-3 putout in the first, but before we see Cisneros walk into the box, we're going to have a talk on the mound. As Poinsettia just struggling to find the zone here. Coming into this game, he allowed 26 walks, which leads the pitching staff for Long Beach. And they're going to take Poinsettia out after this one, and coming in is going to be number 6. Your outstanding playing on the speakers. Let's see. So Poinsettia's night is over. 1+ innings pitched with 2 runs allowed so far. The runners on first and second, both for him. We see Josh Yogi coming in. He's the right-handed pitcher. 5'11", 175. He's a freshman from Milken High School in Long Beach. Looks like Josh Yogi has settled in here. He's talking to his infield with those runners on first and second. And this brings up the top of the lineup for Pasadena. Omar Cisneros, you see a 349 average coming to this one. That average weakening a little bit after that 5-3 put out to get him out in the first. But here in the second, see if he can right his wrongs. Good opportunity to get an RBI on the board here. Shows bunt. Not a bad choice, as advancing those runners to third and second, both in scoring position, be quite nice for Pasadena, as even a single could bring across 1 and might even bring 2. Let's see if Pasadena continues to play small ball. It's 2-1 on the leadoff hitter, and they're going to lay down that bunt, and that one is going to be a dribbler. It's going to go foul. So it's going to be a 1-1 count now. See Cisneros just leaving his bat there. He's like, I'm going to come back for it. And now he has to. So 1-1 count. He can still lay down that bunt without the fear of a strikeout. He's showing bunt in advance before the pitch, so the pitcher knows what's going to happen here. See, throws that pitch, and he gets that bunt down, and that one is going to be remaining fair, and they can't even get a throw as the third baseman for Long Beach, Yeshua Desai, just chose to watch that one dribble in, and he watched it for so long that there was no play. And that one was on the grass the entire time, so it's an interesting decision by the third baseman there to just watch it when it looked like it had no chance of going foul. It was quite a good bunt laid down by Omar. And so it's going to be bases loaded here for Ochoa. You see the score is 2-2, not -7-2, but Giovanni Ochoa. That spelling tripped me up the first time I saw it, and that's a good swing at it from Giovanni. That's going to go out to center field. It's going to be caught, but what's going to bring one run across. Runner tags from second, and he's going to get home. So we got runners on second and third. Giovanni Ochoa with that sacrifice fly. And that's going to give Pasadena the lead here in the second. It's going to be 2-3 in favor of the Lancers now. First lead of the game. See runners choosing to tag up. Specifically that runner at first, you see there, Omar Cisneros now at second base is an interesting choice. Sometimes the smart play from the outfielder is to throw into second base just to make sure that doesn't happen. But there, Cisneros takes that opportunity, and that one is a quick hot shot to the shortstop. And that's going to be a quick out for Luke Bauer, but the shortstop, Ben Howard, caught that one immediately, eyed the runners at third, made sure no one left. That's going to be Chris Torres now. As Pasadena got one run on the board, but with 2 outs, they're hoping not to go out of this opportunity with only 1 run. So they had bases loaded, no outs. One ball, no strikes here. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be on the ground. It's going to be 2-0. So Yogi here, Josh Yogi. 2 innings pitched. He allowed that 1 run to come across. The runner at third still belonging to Buenceda. So he's Buenceda with 3+ earned runs in 1+ innings pitched. And that one is going to be inside for a strike. 2-1 now on Torres. Here's that pitch, and that one is going to be outside for a ball. It's going to be 3-1 count. They have a base open at first, so they don't necessarily need to give in to Torres here. Got Joaquin Saucedo up to bat, are in the hole. And that one is going to be outside or inside for a ball, and so Torres is going to be walked. Back-to-back walks for him. He had one in the first, and that's going to bring up Saucedo, who last time he had a bases loaded opportunity got hit by a pitch. So let's see what he does here. Obviously being hit by a pitch isn't up to his decision. Hopefully Josh Yogi isn't gunning for his head. So it's bases loaded, no out, or 2 outs. Pasadena already got that 1 run across, and that first pitch is going to be in there for a strike. That's a big strike for Yogi to settle into this at bat. Joaquin having 15 RBIs now. After that RBI in the first, swings right over that one. And it's going to be an 0-2 count quickly on Saucedo. Oh-2 count. Here's the pitch. Yogi hits a little bit of a dribbler. I thought it might have hit him because You saw Saucedo jumping around there, but it's going to remain. It's going to go to 1 and 2, but he's going to stay there at the batter's box. One-two count on Saucedo. Here's the pitch, and that one's going to be a dribbler fielded by Yogi. He's going to have to throw to his first baseman, takes the time, and he's going to easily stroll into the dugout. Pasadena gets one run across, but after a bases loaded, no out opportunity, they're definitely going to be wanting to ask if they could get more in that position. But now they're going to take the lead. Long Beach going to come back up to bat with Rodriguez, Mingo, and Slagger coming up for them in the top of the third. Bracamonte in there for his third inning of work. First pitch is going to be fouled back. Right over to where I'm sitting here along the third base line. Oh, 1 count here on Garrett Rodriguez. Wearing number 10. .394 average playing DH here. So most of the time he's calmly sitting in that dugout. Well, calmly is a interesting word. Is for both of these teams, they've been very active whenever their team is up to bat. Rodriguez gets a nice little hit on that one, and that's going to fall short of the right fielder. Bauer having to throw that one back in the infield, so that's going to be a leadoff hit for Garrett Rodriguez. Worked a walk in the first, and now here in the third gets a single to start it on Bracamonte. So it's going to bring up Aaron Mingo, number 8 for Long Beach, up to bat. The wind's starting to kick up here. Mingo had that pop-up to Isaac Tone behind the plate, and that's going to be a foul ball. Rodriguez was ready to go. He was sprinting to second base and then slid in, so his pants going to be a little bit of are going to carry that slide on them, a little stain. Oh, 1 count on the batter in the box, Aaron Mingo. Bracamonte deals, and that one's going to be fouled. It's going to go to 0 and 2. His pockets are full. He has his sliding gloves, and he has his batting gloves, and he has like a second pair of batting gloves in like that lower left side pocket. Making sure he has all of his essentials on him. Mingo here. He's going to watch that one go outside for a ball. That one is going to be a pickoff attempt there at first, but Rodriguez staying put. Bracamonte, that's going to be his first disengagement of the at-bat. Umpire talking to Bracamonte, not quite sure what he would be saying. It's going to be 1-2, as you can hear from him. Bracamonte deals to Mingo, and that one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler to second there, and that's going to be a double play. What a turnaround by Cisneros as he makes that grab after a little bit of a choppy put out by Logan Parker. Turns around and gets that out at first as well. So a double play to clear the bases off of that dribbler by Aaron Mingo. He's so far been a little bit of a rally killer for Long Beach. See Cisneros and then Logan Parker there at second. 4-6-3 double play there. See, that's the side of the infield that was responsible for that double play right there. It's going to be 2 outs, no runners on for Long Beach. Here's that pitch, and that one's going to be outside for a ball. In the box is Slager, Carson Slager, the first baseman. He had that weird play in the first. Here's going to be the second pitch, and that one's going to be fouled out. But in that first inning, he had that weird play where he hit a ball and it hit the lead runner on first base, which was Rodriguez at the time. And so Rodriguez was out on the hit ball. All the other runners stay, and this pitch is going to be low, so it's going to be 2-1 now on Slager. But yeah, all the runners stayed, and Slager ended up at first base, replacing that position that Rodriguez previously held. So now he's in there. It's going to be a less complicated at bat here, as that one's going to be low for a third ball, 1 strike. Bracamonte trying to get out of this inning, but right there, that's a big cut from Slager. And it's going to make this count full 3-2 now. Bracamonte deals, and that's going to be a dribbler, so it's going to remain a full count. 1 pitch away from getting out of this third inning, and it's been quite the showing for Bracamonte, settling down once again. After a rocky first, he had that rocky beginning to this inning, but right there, that's going to be a walk. So Slager's going to head to first, and that's going to bring up Yeshua Desai. Desai is responsible for the score being 2 runs for Long Beach after he had that single that brought home 2 runs in a bases loaded position. Right after, it was like the pitch after that weird play from Slager. It's going to be a harder opportunity to get an RBI here, but if he's able to drive one, or if it hits those corners of the outfield. You see Slager there. Slager being the first baseman, I don't expect much speed from him. But, you know, you could always be surprised. Desai is going to foul that one off. Yeshua Desai is 6'2", 220 pounds, the sophomore from Torrance High School, which is one of the most common high schools that we see from Long Beach. That one is going to be fouled off once again. A big sound coming off of his bat. He's just trying to straighten up, find a way to drive one. And that is going to be quite a good hit, and out there in left field, that one is gone. Yeshua Desai talking about how he needs to find a way to drive one, and right there he gets it and sends that one right over the left field wall. Jacob Escamilla was grabbing at it, trying to see if he could make any opportunity, but Yeshua Desai with a 2-run home run, and that's going to put Long Beach ahead of Pasadena here in the third. It's going to be 4-3 now. Bracamonte with his third and fourth earned runs of the game. So one swing, and it's just a different position looking at this game. Quite the hit from Desai. We've seen multiple home runs in these games that we've been here for. As this one's going into the outfield, Escamilla actually going to have some room for this one, and so at one pitch after that massive home run from Desai, Bracamonte is going to get out of this inning, but not before a 2-shot gives the lead to Long Beach. It's 4-3 in favor of the Vikings. Hello and welcome here at the third base side. So we're just going into the bottom of the third, but it's been quite the game. 4-3 in favor of the Vikings. Bracamonte allowing 4 earned runs, quite the difference between when we last saw him, where he had that complete game shutout. And so now we are looking at this third inning, flipping the lineup for the Lancers. We are going to see Isaac Tone, Escamilla, and Gerfin come up to bat for them. They're playing now down once again. Previously in the first inning, they were down by 2 runs, and now they're down by 1. So let's see what the Lancers can do. It's going to remain Josh Yogi at the mound for the Vikings. So far, he had quite the performance there as he was pitching in a rocky opportunity there with bases loaded. He only allowed 1 run to come across. So let's see what he can do here. Just under a third of the way through in this one, and just over an hour since that first pitch began from Bracamonte. And now Josh Yogi on the mound. The second pitcher, Desai, throwing across, had that home run in the top of the inning right here, gets the first out with a throw across the diamond to his fellow first baseman Carson Seeger. Now up to bat is Escamilla, the left fielder, who had no opportunity to make a play on that home run. There's those walls out there. And the outfield here at Jackie Robinson Field are quite tall, so I don't expect anyone to make a leap and grab. Escamilla, though, hoping to start something for the Lancers as they're down here. It's going to be 1-1 count, or 2-1 count on number 20. Here's that pitch, and that one's going to be swinging right under it. That was a high pitch. 2-2 now. 2-2 is going to be a dribbler past Desai, and that's going to be a single in there for Escamilla. So let's see if the Lancers can start something here in the top or the bottom of the third. So Escamilla is going to invite Gerfin to come up to bat with a runner on first. Diego Gerfin previously had a walk in the second inning. Right there, found that one off. It's going to be no balls and 1 strike. Gerfin here fouls that one up, and it's going to be out of play. Goes right behind him. The catcher, Enrique Lopez, just choosing to watch that one. He's like, there's no play on that one. Yogi out there with a pitcher's count. A little bit of a disengagement. There was no play there at first base. So Escamilla is going to remain. So far, no strikeouts for the Vikings pitching staff. All 3 of those runs tagged to Buenceda, who started this game. Only pitched into the second inning, not recording an out there. As Yogi so far has recorded more outs than the starting pitcher for the Vikings. (0-2) count on the DH for the Lancers. Here comes that pitch, and that one is going to be high and inside. Gerfin watching all the ways. A little bit of an off speed. Another pickoff attempt. That was a quick jab at it, as he thought he saw Escamilla taking a careless step away, but he was able to get in. (1-2) count now, and this one is going to be low for a ball, and it's going to make it 2-2. To Diego, that one's going to be driven out there to center field. Center fielder for the Vikings getting under it. Making the catch is going to be Miles Fendrick. So runner is going to stay at first. It's going to be a fly out to the center fielder for Gerfin. And so that's going to bring up Parker with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Pasadena down by 1 run. That runner on first base is Escamilla. Josh Yogi has been quite the backup here for the Vikings. 1-0 count on Parker. Here's the second pitch of the at-bat, and that one's going to be a low ball. Sadly, Long Beach's records, or their stat keeping, is not very thorough. They only have a couple of players' records kept. That one's going to be in there for a strike, so it's going to be 2-1. But we only have a couple of players' records kept for pitching and then also batting, so it's a little bit difficult when looking back at their averages and everything. But Josh Yogi is one of those pitchers who's so far uncalled for. As Logan sends this one out to left field, that's going to be an easy grab for Eric Espinoza, and that's going to be the end of this bottom of the third inning, as the Lancers got a runner on with 1 out, but unable to do anything with that, as it's going to be 4-3 remaining in favor of the Vikings. Bracamonte out there for his 4th inning of work here. Leading off is number 19 for the Vikings, and that is going to be the 8th hole hitter. That's going to be Ben Howard. Ben Howard watches the second pitch of his at-bat be a second ball, so it's going to be 2-0. Three balls now on Howard. And that one is going to be in there for a strike, so Bracamonte finally finds the zone here. In that last game we saw where Bracamonte pitched that complete game shutout against ELAC, but before that we see this hit out to center field, and then Giovanni Ochoa coming in and grabbing that one out there. But Bracamonte had quite the way of working through the later innings after having that rocky start to the game. But here he's already been tagged for 4 runs, 59 pitches already. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be drilled off right out to center field once again. Giovanni having to play back-to-back pitches. So back-to-back balls hit. By Howards and Steffens out there. That's going to be Fendrick, the leadoff batter for Long Beach. Two quick outs here, and that one is going to be low. But as we were talking about, Bracamonte had was able to settle down here, but so far being tagged for 4 runs is a tough start for him, and it's going to put some stress out there on the bullpen. And so far we haven't seen anyone warming up, and that's going to be a strike there. So it's going to be 2-1 now on Fendrick. So far no one's warmed up for the Lancers, so they're going to ride with Bracamonte for at least this inning and even one more after that. Here's the pitch. And that one's going to be low, or it's going to be in there for a strike actually, so it's going to even out the count at 2-2 with 2 outs on the board. But the bullpen for Pasadena has been quite rocky, as we saw in that game against the Golden West Rustlers, as Pasadena lost 16-3. 2-2 pitch, and that one is going to be popped up into the infield. Who's going to get it? The first baseman's going to call out for it, and that's going to be the out. And so Pasadena is going to get out of the inning as Joaquin Saucedo gets the out there. And so we're going to head to the bottom of the 4th here, as Bracamonte there able to work a clean inning. In the bottom of the 4th, we should expect to see Cisneros, Ochoa, and Bauer, the top of the lineup for the Lancers. Top of the lineup coming up for Pasadena, but we see a pitching change on the mound. It's going to be a new pitcher. It's going to be number 12, Alex Yin. Alex Yin on the roster is registered as a catcher. Here's the pitch from him. That one's going to be in there for a strike on Cisneros. Cisneros watches the second pitch, and that one's going to be low for a ball. Yeah, you see Alex Yin is registered as a catcher, but he's out there on the mound, so does both of the work here. He could do a battery with himself, you know, catch and then pitch. If only he could make a duplicate of himself, but at least he has Enrique Lopez behind the plate for him. 2-1 pitch to Cisneros, and that one's going to be 3 balls and 1 strike now. Cisneros has quite the eye. So far, 1 for 2 with a 5-3 putout and then a single in the second. Here in the fourth, 3-1. Cisneros in the hole, and that one's going to be a walk. And so Cisneros gets on base for the second time today, and that's going to bring up Giovanni Ochoa, who had a sac fly and a walk so far today. So he's 1 for our, oh no. So let's see if Ochoa can continue to work a clean slate here, possibly getting a walk. Yin throws in, and that one is going to be a ball. See Ochoa out there in center field. He has quite the good eye on him as well, but he's also pretty speedy, so if he can get on base, he can work something, as speed is an essential trait for anybody playing center field, as they have a lot of ground to work with out there in the outfield. Yin so far has a 1-1 count on Ochoa. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball, and then the catcher is going to throw across to first, but there's going to be no play there. So it's going to be 2-1 now. Two-one count on Ochoa. Yin with the pitch, and that one is going to be fouled back. Ochoa reaching out to the bottom to grab that one. We saw the third baseman, our third base coach for Pasadena, slapping his legs after that one, as he definitely reached for what would have been a ball. Yin working with that leadoff runner at first base, being Cisneros. And so that one is going to be an off speed going just out of the zone. And so it's going to be full count here on Ochoa. Pasadena down by 1. Runners on first and second would be quite the treat for the team here. And now it's a low ball, and that's going to be back-to-back walks for Yin. Cisneros and Ochoa going to live on that right side of the diamond. And so Ochoa so far still, his score sheet's going to show 0 for 0. As he's had that sac fly and a walk, and now here another walk. Now it's 3-hole batter, wearing number 3. It's going to be Luke Bauer, who's 1. And that's going to be, I thought the catcher was going to have to throw across, but it was a difficult position. Oh, 0-1 on Luke Bauer, as we start to see some motion in the bullpen here for Pasadena, but the bullpen catcher. And that's going to be a good laid-down bunt. It's going to be fair. Yin throws across the first. They're going to get the out there. But PCC is going to have runners on second and third. So 2 runners in scoring position for the Lancers. If they can make some contact, have a chance of taking the lead here. See Cisneros there at third. 90 feet away from tying this game here in the bottom of the fourth. That's going to be number 14 now, Chris Torres, with another good position. He's worked 2 walks so far in the game, as that's going to be a little bit of a dribbler, and it's going to get past the second baseman, and so everyone is going to stay home. They're going to send the second runner, and that's going to be a 2-run miscue right there by the second baseman. Cross Steffens got chewed up by that ball. It was a grounder right to him. If he was able to make a play, he would have got at least 1 out, maybe even 2. but they were sending him the whole ways on contact, and so Pasadena now leads this one 5-4. Cross Steffens, the second baseman right there, as you see him behind Chris Torres. Got to wait and see what they register that one as. Whether it's an error or if it's a single, I would say it's an error, as it looked like Steffens had the ball and either lost it on the transfer or just couldn't catch it, as that's going to be quick contact and caught right there by the shortstop. Ben Howard has been making some great plays out there for the Vikings, as he is not playing in the hot corners, but he's definitely able to have a watchful eye. Isaac Tone now. So they're going to say it's one earned run for Cisneros coming across, and then the second earned run is going to be on that error by Cross Steffens. So Saucedo now has an RBI with a hit by pitch, but here with a runner on second, another opportunity if he's able to make some contact. And that runner with 2 outs is going to be running on any sort of contact he hears. So yeah, for anyone who is keeping score, it was a single by Chris Torres. He advances to second on that error by Cross Steffens. 1 run comes across off the single and 1 run comes across off the error. Yin now behind on the catcher for Pasadena, Isaac Tone, as it's 2-0. Three and 1 now on Tone. There's a spot open for him on first base, so Ian wouldn't be quite against allowing that. But he's 1 pitch, just needs 1, and that one's going to be inside for a ball. And so Isaac Tone is going to work a walk. That is his second walk of the day. He's 0 for 1 in total, but 2 walks, so it's going to be runners on second and first once again. Second time it's been like that here for Pasadena. And Jacob Escamilla is going to come in here, the left fielder, with another opportunity to get on the board, as this one's going to be driven out there to center field right, and that's going to be caught by the right fielder, and that's going to be the end. Aaron Mingo records that out, but Pasadena takes the lead on a single by Chris Torres, and then, or ties it up on a single by Chris Torres, and a E4 by the second baseman. Cross Steffens allows Pasadena to take the lead. It is now 5-4 in favor of the Lancers. Bracamonte is going to continue to keep control of the ball here. But as I was mentioning, before all that action in the top or the bottom of the fourth, there is some motion going on in the dugout here right behind me. It's going to be Matt Garcia warming up. So if Bracamonte starts getting some trouble right there, that is one pitch, one out right there. Wasn't even ready looking at it. And that is a fly ball to Luke Bauer to record the first out. And that was Lopez. Now up to bat is number 10, Rodriguez. Rodriguez makes contact, but that one's going to go foul. So Bracamonte, if any trouble gets in, he has his backup, or for the coach of Pasadena, they have their backup warming up right behind him. As that one's going to be outside for a ball, it's going to be 1-2 now. Quickly getting ahead on Rodriguez, as that's always an advantage for pitchers. That one's going to be outside. It's going to be 2-2. Bracamonte here, 2-2. That one's going to be another dribbler, so it's going to be a long at-bat for Rodriguez. And finally, Rodriguez hits one straight into the field of play. Cisneros works into it, going all the way into the outfield. Had Escamilla patted on the back before he even made that catch. And that's going to be the second out of the inning here. That one is going to be inside. That's going to be Aaron Mingo, the right fielder. And this one is going to be popped up. Let's see if it stays in the field of play. Third baseman and the pitcher call into it. And then Isaac Tone makes the catch. Not having the easiest position to get that one, having to peel back on it, but he makes the grab, and so Pasadena works a very quick top of the fifth inning. It's going to remain 5-4. Bracamonte, after those first 3 innings, allowing 4 runs, has been able to settle down for this last 2. Lancers still up 5-4, and they're going to be able to put the bats back into their hands. Welcome back to the third base line here with my little setup. Diego Garfin is going to lead off this inning. He's the DH for Pasadena. But as I mentioned before, the effort that Pasadena has been coming into these games, not only during the game but also practice, has been what Coach McGee has been talking about. And here today, we definitely saw a lot of effort during their practice. And so far, Pasadena playing with a very short lead, 1 run against Long Beach. We're going to see Gerfin, Logan Parker, and Cisneros back at the top of the lineup here when it flips around. But so far, Pasadena, after 4.5 frames, leading this one against the Vikings. Let's see how long they're able to keep that lead. As Long Beach has definitely had some turbulence on the pitching side, they're going to bring in Dylan Berton to pitch now for them. This is going to be the 4th pitcher we've seen today, as Josh Yogi got the ball right after Buenceda allowed 3 runs. See, number 18 pitching for the Lancers, which is Racamonte. Dylan Berton up to bat. Let's see if he has some stats. As already mentioned before, but Long Beach, whoever's their statistician, clearly taking some off days. There's only a couple of games are actually recorded, which is quite difficult for when you have to look back at their stats and they only have 3 players. And sadly, Dylan Berton is one of those players, so he might have never pitched before. He might have pitched every game for them. Have no clue. You see Diego Gerfin in there. And that he's going to take that first pitch in for a strike. Luckily, the Lancers have a better statistician, or someone who actually takes some effort. And so we can look back at their stats as it's 0-1 in favor of the pitcher. As Diego grounds that one, it's going to be a short throw across the diamond for the shortstop. And that was a nice put out, 5-3 to get Gerfin out. Howard to Slagger. Or 6-3 put out. He's going to bring in Logan Parker now. Logan Parker has a .235 average. Or .275 average. Gerfin is the one with .235. That one's going to lower his batting average. 11 hits and 10 RBIs, so almost every hit he records, he gets an RBI. But, walks work into that and sacrifices. Here's that pitch. And that one is going to be in there for a strike, so it's going to be 1-1. It's been an hour and a half here at Jackie Robinson Field. Now it's going to be fouled back. Definitely a calmer day than the previous streams that we've done, as the weather has been brutal here in Pasadena. Calming down just a little bit. It's 83, but the clouds definitely adding some coverage so it doesn't feel like the sun is beating down on you every 5 seconds. And that one's going to be inside for a ball, so it's going to be 2-2 now. Parker with a walk and a fly out. His 3rd at bat of the day. As he's going to hit that one, it's going to go right past the second baseman, Ben. Our cross Steffens just having a tough day out there. As I don't know what happened. We don't have replay, but I don't know what happened with that play where Cross looked like he had that faced up to him, and he just turns around. The ball is 20 feet away from him. Got to wait and see what they call that one. They're going to say it's an error on the second baseman. It's going to be a second error for Cross. And that's going to bring up the top of the lineup, so we're going back to Cisneros. So Cisneros already with his 4th at-bat in the 5th inning here. With a ground out, a single, and a walk. Here he's down, our even count, 1-1. And that pitch is going to be grounded right to the first baseman. They get the out at second, but a bad transfer right there. They're not going to get the out at first. So it's going to go in as a fielder's choice there that Cisneros gets on. Honestly, it looked like he could have made or at least tagged first base, but we're going to stay at the bottom of the fifth. Dylan Berton is the pitcher. It shows bunt right there, and that is going to be a foul ball. So Ochoa was sprinting down the line. He had bunt on his mind the whole time. With a runner on first, it's definitely an interesting move to try to bunt for a single. And that ball is going to get away. Cisneros has a chance here. He's going to get to second. They're calling him to go to third. That ball still hasn't been fielded. He's going to stay at third base. If that was like 2 more seconds, Cisneros could have been sent home. But after that miscue by Berton, he's going to get all the way to third base there. Error by the pitcher. So Pasadena could find a way to grow their lead here if they get a single right there, as that one's going to be shallow contact. Shortstop not having to move much into the outfield, and that is going to be the end of the 5th inning here, as we're going to go to the 6th now. Pasadena remains ahead in this one, but a very short lead, 5-4. Long Beach going to come up to bat. Back here for the 6th inning now. Bracamonte continuing to put in the work here, as that's going to be a quick little dribbler. It's going to remain. That's a nice play right there by the second baseman. Logan Parker throws to first base, but throws his body into the field of play and gets that out. As that was Carson Slager unable to beat that one out. Defense is always a key part of any sport, and here in baseball, it's one that pops out to you, as normally you don't see a lot of action, but when there's defensive plays, they're definitely things that you remember. It's going to be Yeshua Desai in there now. It's going to be Bracamonte is going to be behind on him, 2-0. as he had that home run that gave Long Beach the short lead beforehand. Now they're playing behind, so if he's able to hit a solo shot here, ties up the game. But Yeshua makes some contact. That one's going to go foul, though. Third base coach, or umpire, making the quick call on that one. Feels like every time I've seen a home run here at Jackie Robinson Field, it's always gone to that left field, as that's going to be short of a home run. But Cisneros makes a play right there, unable to make the grab at first base is Joaquin. But Cisneros, what a way to turn on that one, unable to record the out. So Desai is going to calmly stroll into first base. That's just going to be recorded as a single, as he might have beat that one out already before that miscue by Joaquin Salcedo. So Espinoza coming in. He's going to be the left fielder, Eric Espinoza. 1-0 count on him. Both of these teams with left fielders with a last name starting with E, and they also both have eight letters. So random thing, but going to be a little bit of a talk right there between Bracamonte and Tone. As I mentioned before, there is backup on the way. Matt Garcia has been throwing for just over an inning here in the bullpen behind me, as Pasadena's bullpen was quite rocky in that game against Golden West, and that was one of the points that the coach made, was that the bullpen pitchers, he feels that some of them, not to name names, but he definitely named some names, some of them he just felt that they could only come in if they were losing by $1 million, you know? It shows a lack of faith in his guys, but sometimes you got to be tough on them to build some character. You see Espinoza still in there. It's going to be a 1-0 pitch, and that one's going to be low for a ball. 2-0 now on him. If Bracamonte is able to get out of the 6th inning, it'd be quite the start for him. Yes, he allowed 4 earned runs, but in a way that can be memorable, as that's hit into center field. Right behind the center field, there's a squirrel. I don't know if we can get that, but that squirrel is just chilling in center field. He's going to play baseball too. As that might be the end for Bracamonte, as I might have announced or jinxed him, as I was mentioning, if he was able to get out of this inning, be quite the start. As yep, looks like that's going to be the end of things. As Bracamonte works 5.1 innings, 4 earned runs so far. Those runners on first and second are recorded for him, so if they come across, that would only add to his score sheet. As we're going to see Matt Garcia come in. So as you saw right there, we're going to see Matt Garcia coming in for Pasadena. He is a sophomore. 5 games he's pitched in for them with 12.1 innings pitched, so we might see not just 1, but maybe even 2. He has that weird little leg kick on him as he raises that leg all the way up. He has a 2.92 ERA on him, which is quite low, especially for these relief pitchers that only get so many showings. You see his windup right here in that high way he picks up his leg. Definitely a lanky guy is Garcia. But only at a 5'10" frame. It's definitely mostly legs, which could be an advantage if just, getting even an inch or two farther extension on every pitch can add up, and that visual difference that the batters face. So back-to-back singles is what ends up killing Bracamonte's night, as we see Ben Howard in there. As Ben Howard makes some contact, but that's going to be short to the left field. Escamilla makes the catch there, and so it's going to be 2 outs now. Quick first out here for Garcia to settle into this one. So it's going to bring up the 9-hole header. And that should be Cross Steffens, who has had a very difficult night, or day. It's only just almost 2 o'clock here. So far 0 for 2, and then 2 errors on him, as he's trying to right his wrongs for his team. So he definitely doesn't want to go out as a guy that, frankly, has been the Achilles heel for Long Beach today. Garcia working ahead already, 0-1 on the 9-hole. He takes a little bit of a disengagement there, looking back to Desai at second base. Looks like Garcia has his pitch, 0-1, and that one is going to be a wild pitch right there. As the catcher, Isaac Tone, reached for it, and that's going to advance the runners to third and second. So even more dangerous here for Garcia, as one more of those would cost them a run and cost them this lead. So the count is still 1-1 on the 9-hole hitter, but Garcia would be kicking himself if this is how he gave up a lead, as that's going to be fouled off. So it's going to be 1-2 now. Garcia just needing one pitch to get out of this game. Garcia to Howard. He's going to watch that one. The umpire watches it too. It's going to be 2-2 now, as Steffens is in there. Even count. And that's going to be a shot right there to Cisneros. He gets the throw across the diamond, and Matt Garcia comes in relief, gets the 2 outs needed. Not the calmest appearance there after that wild pitch, but Pasadena stays in the driving seat of this game. 5-4, Long Beach probably going to kick themselves after having runners on first and second, 1 out, advances those runners, and then unable to come away with any runs. It's going to be 4-5 in favor of the Lancers once again, going to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome to Paradise by Green Day was being blasted right here over the speakers, but I would say this hasn't been a paradise for either of these teams. It's been a rocky game for both. Pasadena has been able to have this lead for a few innings now. But Luke Bauer now up to bat. 3-hole hitter wearing 3. It's still anyone's game. 3.5 frames to go. A 1-run game. That's what you want to see right here as Luke Bauer drives that one into right field. He's going to get on for a single. So the leadoff hitter gets on here in the 6th inning. That's going to bring up Chris Torres, who so far today is 0 for 1 with a walk, and then he had that, what should have been an out, was a single, but an E4. That is actually the difference in this game. As he hit that ball to the second baseman, Cross Stevens. He recorded that last out. That one ate up Cross and just got past him. And what would have been just a regular single for Torres ended up being a 2 RBI or a 1 RBI and an error play that allowed the runner that was on second to come all the way across to home. And Torres watches that one. Torres makes some contact here, and that one is going to get right over the second baseman. Back-to-back singles into right field. Torres having a little bit of a larger angle on that one and getting right over the head of Cross, who we were just talking about. So now Pasadena working with some motion here against the team located right next to the ocean, Long Beach City College. And that one's going to be a bunt, but that ball is going to hit home plate, so it's going to be staying there as a foul ball. You see Coach not happy about that call of a foul ball, as he believes that did not hit home plate. You see the umpires talking about it. Gives us a little bit of a breather here as Pasadena continues to work with the lead. So looking at it, Long Beach City College is just over, or just under 4 miles away from the Pacific Ocean. definitely a different position here to Pasadena, where we are a few miles away from San Gabriel Mountains. Which one would you rather be, located next to the mountains or the ocean? Oh, 1 count still, as this has been a long intermission here. It's Joaquin Saucedo still in there. All over a bunt attempt. We spent 3-ish minutes talking about it, as that one's going to be another bunt attempt, as that one is going to be a foul ball. Desai made quite the play on it, but for nothing, as the umpire says. We're going to have to replay that one. And it looks like there's not going to be a lengthy discussion about the legitimacy of that one. See, there's a meeting out there, as both of these bunt attempts have been, see, Torres and Bauer, the runners, and then also Saucedo talking to the coach. 0-2 count. It's been a 2-hour game so far. Here in the bottom of the 6th, no outs recorded still. Let's see if Saucedo tries to do a risky bunt attempt here with 2 strikes. If you don't make it, goes out as a strikeout. As he shows bunt, but ends up chopping at it, as that one's going to go back to left field. Left fielder is going to make the grab there. They're going to tag up at second base, so it ends up working to advance a runner. As Aaron Mingo, not having the strongest arm, allows Cisneros, or to Bauer to advance. So Saucedo going into that was full on, hoping to advance a runner, or both the runners, ends up advancing one, so not half bad for an at-bat. And showing bunt now is going to be Isaac Tone, the catcher. Baseball is a sport made up of a bunch of battles, all between pitchers and hitters. Here, they've been some lengthy battles here, as the last game we called was quite lengthy as well. That Bracamonte complete shutout felt like a breeze compared to these last 2 games. Isaac, that's going to be a pitch right behind him, and that's going to bring in 1 run. Runner goes to second. And so a wild pitch is going to add insurance for the Lancers, as Bauer, right on it, is able to go home. And so that's going to be a wild pitch, allowing a run. Pasadena now leads it by 2 runs, 6-4. So wild pitches have been a crutch as well for both of these pitching staffs. Pasadena had some, but luckily Matt Garcia was able to avoid that. We saw a collision right there. We're going to need to take a bit of a break as there's also some vocal opinions being worn out right there between the catcher and then also the runner, or the batter. As this is the rubber match between these two teams, they've definitely had a long day. That is Carson Slager, hunched over right there. I didn't quite see what happened, but I'd assume after that foul ball, there was a run-in with the current batter, Pasadena. As Slager gets up, talks to his catcher, who was doing all the speaking for him. A rubber match between these two teams. They've played 3 games in the last 5 days, so they've been seeing each other a lot recently. It's going to be Escamilla in there. So there was ruled batter's interference after that strong contact between Isaac Tone, the catcher for Pasadena, and that first baseman, Carson Seeger. So it's going to be Escamilla. So 2 outs with a runner on second. Pasadena already getting 1 run across here. This one is going to be foul ball. Desai running over to get that one, but no need as Pasadena sends out their backup catchers, always, or their backup pitchers, to always go run around for any loose balls. Escamilla down 1-2 in the count, and he swings right over a pitch. Daniel Berton is going to get out of the inning, but not before allowing 1 run on a wild pitch. And so Pasadena has grown their lead. It's going to be 6-4 in favor of the Lancers. Going into the 7th, got the 7th, or let's see who's going to be coming in for Long Beach. And that is going to be the top of the lineup. Fendrick, Lopez, and Rodriguez all coming up for Long Beach here in the top of the 7th. So top of the lineup, taking the helm, the reins here for Long Beach. Fendrick beginning it. He's going to be the center fielder for the Vikings. The Vikings is a very interesting name for a team from Long Beach. I get it, they're like right next to the ocean, but like, I don't think there's any Vikings over there. Matt Garcia continuing to work. Not the congressperson, but rather the pitcher from PCC. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch to Fendrick, as that one is going to be sent out to left field. Espinoza going at it, and he's going to make the grab at the warning track. What a play. I thought that one could have been gone, but we had hope in the left fielder, and Escamilla ends up making the grab out there. Espinoza being the left fielder for the Vikings. But Escamilla with a great play right there goes in the books as a very, very long fly out to the left fielder. Definitely going to see Miles Fendrick doing some push-ups or something, as just a little bit more strength in that swing would have sent that one gone. As here's a chopper to Cisneros, throws to his first baseman, and that's back-to-back outs on 2 pitches. And so this has been a really quick 7th, as it's already 2 outs here for Matt Garcia. As Rodriguez, who's going to be the DH for the Vikings, comes in. Garrett Rodriguez. 1 for 2 so far with a walk, a single, and a pop-up in the infield to Cisneros. Here's that pitch, and that one is going to be lined to Saucedo, but that's going to be a foul ball. Saucedo doing a whole circle route there before ending up in his defensive positioning, which is really, really close to that first base line. 1-1 count. Rodriguez is going to watch that one go out for a ball. Here's that pitch, and that's going to be a swing right over it from Rodriguez. And so Matt Garcia is 1 pitch away from getting out of the 7th inning in a quite quick fashion. 2-2 count. Here's Matt's pitch, as he's going to send that one into the dirt. It's a strikeout, throw across the first to just secure the out. And Matt Garcia with the quick work. The Vikings going out in order, and that's going to send it to the bottom of the 7th, where the Lancers are going to bring up Escamilla, Graffine, and Parker. So right after some stretch time, it's the bottom of the 7th now, as the Lancers are going to have Griffin come in here. And that ball is going to be sent right back to where it came from. As the pitcher having to get out of the way, that's going to be Riley Jones in there now for Long Beach. And so that's going to be a quick single for Andrew Griffin. It's going to bring up Logan Parker, who's the 9-hole hitter. You see number 26 is going to be Riley Jones. Let's see if he is one of the chosen few that have their stats recorded. He sadly is not, so another one of those pitchers where could be his first game ever pitching baseball. But runner on first now as Parker is settled into his position here in the batter's box. That one is going to be high, and they're going to throw out. Enrique Lopez loves to check up on his runners at first base. Parker here showing bunt, and that one's going to be low for a ball, so wise timing to take it out, and it's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Shows bunt once again, 2-0 count. Here's that strike going right in, not even trying to bunt at it. So as the 9-hole hitter, you're kind of morally obligated to try and bunt. And that one's going to be a second strike, so it's going to be 2-2 now. Even count on Parker, who had previously worked it to a 2-ball and no strike count. Now seeing back-to-back strikes from Riley Jones. And that one is going to be a foul ball on the bunt attempt, so that's going to go out as a strikeout. Interesting choice always to try and bunt when you're 2 strikes, so if you foul it off, like right there from Parker, ends up going out as a strikeout. So that's going to bring up the top of the lineup. Cisneros now coming up. More about the pitcher up the bat, or the pitcher for the Vikings. He's a left-hander. He's a freshman from Valley Christian High School in Cerritos. Cisneros in there now. 0-0 on him, as that one's going to go in for a strike, so Cisneros is going to work behind here. Oh, 1 count, 1 out. Riley Jones deals the pitch with a runner on first. That's going to be fouled back. Wind's kicking up a notch again as they start to flare. No pitches were thrown during that little bit of a outburst from the wind god. And that one is going to be a pickoff attempt. Disengagement from Jones. Cisneros watches that one out for the first ball. It's going to be 1-2 now. So 1 out in the inning. Cisneros there, top of the lineup batter. And he's going to dribble that one, and it's going to be right to the second baseman, who is able to right his wrongs there. Cross Steffens had some trouble before. Right there, actually able to get it out. So it's going to be a 4-3 put out to send Cisneros back to the dugout, and that's going to bring up Giovanni Ochoa as the fourth batter to come up to bat for PCC. As you see, Graffine advanced to second base on that. Smart play right there by Cross, is not to even try to worry about trying to get the lead runner out. We've been having some struggles on defense. Get the simple play, as Giovanni watches that one in for a strike. Graffine at second base with Ochoa in the box, and that one's going to be in for a strike, so it's going to be 0-2 quickly. Riley Jones liking to work ahead on these guys. Oh, 2 pitch, and that one's going to be fouled off. So Ochoa staying alive. As this game crawls along. It's 2.5 hours long so far. Or just under 2.5 hours. As this pitch is going to be a hit by pitch. That looked like it might have made the softest contact ever on Ochoa, but the umpire heard it right off the little shoulder guard. So he's going to head to our first base. So there's going to be runners on first and second. That's going to bring up Luke Bauer. The hour of Bauer, with another opportunity here to try to get an RBI. With a single and a sacrifice, or 2 singles, and 2 are a 6-3 put out and a sacrifice bunt. So he's 2 for 3. Here's that pitch, and that is going to be a strike in there. Luke Bauer, 1-2 pitch, and that one's going to be fouled out. 1-2 now. One-two pitch on Bauer, and that was going to be outside for a ball. As the PCC dugout just continues to scream, "Come on, Bauer." See what he can do. A single has a chance of bringing a run across. You see Graffine out there. Graffine is running, and he's going to be on a little bit of a chopper here. It throws across. It's going to be a far throw, but he gets it out. What a little bit of almost a split by Carson Slager. And so Pasadena had an opportunity here, unable to record any runs on the board. And so it's going to remain 4-6 as we go to the top of the 8th now. 2 more frames in this one. Who is going to come away with the win? We are still to see here at Jackie Robinson Field. We're back here for the top of the 8th. Aaron Mingo now in the hole for Long Beach. Matt Garcia going out there for another frame of work. Been the only other pitcher for Pasadena besides Bracamonte, who worked 5.1 innings. One count on Aaron Mingo. We share the same name. Hopefully he does something. That one's going to be a foul ball. First name. Last name is not Mingo. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be swung on and missed. Matt Garcia gets the strikeout right there of Aaron Mingo. That is going to be his second K of the day. So stepping in now is the big Carson Slager, who's the first baseman. And that one going behind him, Matt Garcia just losing the helm on that one. That's going to be a hit by pitch. Normally I say that's going to leave him with a bruise, but right there, he might have not even felt it as he hit around like the calf area, calf and cleat. And that was like a elementary school pitcher throwing. And so that's going to bring up the big guy, Desai, who already has a 2-run shot in this one. If he's able to hit one, that would tie up this game here in the 8th. Which that would definitely add to the theatrics of this game. Yeshua hitting that one. It's going to be a foul ball. Carson Slager at first, not expecting him to have much of a run after he had that batter's interference contact there. That's going to be a ball to Yeshua Desai. You see 21 and 21, back-to-back 21s. You see Joaquin Salcedo is the 21 for Pasadena. And they're also first basemen, so it's not like a football thing where they wear the same numbers depending on position, but it just happens both teams, their first basemen wear 21. Yeshua Desai still in there. 3-1 count on the big man. And that pitch is going to hit him, so it's back-to-back hit by pitches by Matt Garcia. And so we've seen motion in the bullpen. Looks like it is number 15 for Pasadena warming up. So Matt Garcia now with runners on first and second. 1 out. And Sergio Robles might be coming in right now, which looks like he is. So Sergio is going to take the ball away from Matt Garcia and hopefully come away with a clean slate. They're talking over, and yes, Sergio's coming in. you see Sergio Robles out there from San Dimas. He's 6 feet tall, or 6'2", 165. So he's pretty skinny out there. He's a sophomore here for Pasadena. Looking at his stats page, he has a ERA just a notch over 4 in this is going to be his 11th appearance. So this is a big spot here in this game. Sergio Robles taking the helms after back-to-back hit-by pitches allowed by Matt Garcia. If you're looking at Matt's score sheet, he's going to end up with 2.1 innings pitched, allowing no runs. So definitely a worthwhile day for Garcia, but hopefully he's not going to allow any other runs, which those 2 runners are charged to him. That one is going to be hit out into the infield. It's going to stay in. Cisneros calls for it, and that's going to be the second out here. 1 pitch, 1 out for Robles. Robles out there on the mound, and he's going to get a strike quickly on the batter in the box. And that's going to be Ben Howard. In there, Howard, the shortstop. The shortstop for the Vikings, and he's had a couple of plays on defense where he's had balls coming at him. Looked like a 200-mile-per-hour right at him, and he's able to make a snag. So let's see what he's able to do with the bat in his hands. So far today, it's been a rough one for him. He's 0 for 3. One of a few batters out there who have done nothing with the bat in their hands. Let's see what Howard can do in the 8th spot, as that one is going to be hit out there into that left field shortstop, and the left field is going to call for it, and that is going to be an out. Jacob Escamilla records that final out of the 8th inning, and so we're going to go to the bottom of the 8th. Pasadena with a great frame, give it up to Sergio Robles, recording those big 2 outs. He had runners on 1st and 2nd, ends up walking away with a clean slate. Definitely Matt Garcia is going to thank him when he gets to the dugout there. And so it's been a great day for these bullpen pitchers for Pasadena, not to jinx it, as they just need 3 more outs to get the win here against Long Beach. is going to be out there once again for the Vikings in what might be the final frame that we see the Vikings pitch. It's going to be number 14 leading off this inning, and that's going to be Torres, who was responsible for the biggest hit of this game, which was a single to the second baseman that was then followed up by an error by the second baseman, which allowed 2 runs to come across, 1 recorded as an RBI for Torres. (2-0) count on him, and that one is going to be in there for a strike. So the third baseman for Pasadena working ahead in the count, but not by much. It's 2-1. Pasadena just looking for some insurance, as right there, that's going to be a single. We've seen back-to-back ones like that from Torres, as he loves to hit it. A little bit of a blooper, find that gap in between the infield and the outfield. So Torres is going to be in there on first base. So currently, as it states, PCC would be heading into the bottom of the or top of the ninth with a 2-run lead, and it would be the 9, 1, and 2 hole for the Vikings, as they would need 2 runs to at least tie this up. (3-0) quickly on Saucedo, which a walk here would put them in a good position to add on to this lead. Right there, Riley Jones finds a strike. The 3-1 count on the 5-hole hitter. Saucedo looks, and he's going to swing at that one. Good cut at it, but not going to make any contact. Going to be 3-2, full count. Who is going to make the right decision here? Is Riley Jones going to come in with a great pitch and make something manageable? And Saucedo here with the bat finds that hole right. Once again, same as Torres before him, and that's going to be a single out there to Aaron Mingo. So it's going to be runners on first and second now. Isaac Tone coming up, the catcher. This is a big spot for Pasadena if they want to grow this lead and possibly get this one out of the way. That one's going to be a little bit of a dribbler. It's going to be a foul ball on the bunt attempt. So mark it as a strike. And we're remain with runners on first and second. 0-1 count on Torres, or on Tone. Going to be a little bit of a meeting on the mound, but in the last 2 games, these 2 teams have played against each other. On Tuesday, they played here at Jackie Robinson Field, and PCC ended up losing that one 10-6 against the visiting Vikings, and then they went over a pretty far trip to Long Beach. That's heading south, and they ended up coming away with a win over there, 8-5. So a 1-run difference between these 2 teams coming into this game. So far, 2-run overall, 2-run advantage. for PCC, and looks like that's going to be the end of the day for Riley Jones. As number 5 is going to come in for Long Beach. That's going to be Tyler Handy, or Tyzir Handy. Tyzir is a right-handed pitcher. He's 6 feet tall, 200 pounds. He's a freshman. And he's going to be from Malikan High School, or he's going to be from Mayfair High School in Lakewood, California. That song, Outstanding by the Gap Band, playing over the speakers. That's become like the joke. Players that are no good or washed. So you know that R&B music from late 70s, 80s, it's affiliated with just you pass your prime. Here, Riley Jones walks out to it as Tyzir Handy comes in. Handy in a position where any mistake could lead to a growing advantage in favor of these Lancers. And that's going to be Escamilla in there. One out. Here's the pitch. Now one's going to be low for a strike. Getting the low part of the zone right there is Andy. As that one's going to be hit, and that is going to be, just lined out right there. They're going to try to double him up, but they're not going to get anything. So that's going to go out as a line out to left field. What is a strong hit by Escamilla, but not going to do any good for the Lancer team. It's going to be the second out. And runners still at first and second. And so possibly the last at-bat for Pasadena is going to go to Andrew Graffine. Looks like it's actually Joey Ramos, the pitcher, taking that DH hole spot. And that's going to be a dribbler right there. And it's going to get past the second base, or the shortstop, and that's going to be one run. That's going to be an RBI single by Joey Ramos. It's going to make it a 3-run game here in the bottom of the 8th. So the pitcher comes in. He has the ball in his hands, and then here with the bat in his hands, ends up making the work out of it. And so Pasadena is now ahead by 3 runs against the Long Beach Vikings. Now we're going to see the 9-hole hitter, Logan Parker. So additional insurance coming from the 8th hole, Joey Ramos. Parker out there now. He's had a tough night. 0 for 3, and it's a strikeout on him. He has had a walk, so it could be worse here. Watches that one in for a ball. Here's the pitch to Parker, and that one is going to be sent out to left field. The left fielder having to range out to it. Espinoza makes the catch, and we are going to head to the top of the 9th here. Pasadena needs 3 outs, and they can record a win here against Long Beach in this rubber match of a 3-game set against the Vikings. Let's see what they're going to do with Sergio Robles going to stay out there as the pitcher for Pasadena. I was talking about Joey Ramos. He's like the pitcher, and don't know why I confused Joey Ramos with Sergio Robles, who is going to be the pitcher now. So Joey Ramos was actually a pinch hitter for Griffin, who was the DH, and so he's responsible for that one insurance run that they got in the bottom of the 8th. So now it's up to Sergio Robles to try and get 3 outs with a 3-run lead. Pasadena working with some cushion to work with. Let's see if they're able to walk away with it, as the Vikings have been able to mount some pressure in almost every frame that they've at least got one runner on. When it's rained, it's poured for Long Beach, and so Robles just hoping to work quickly and efficiently here against the Vikings, as it's going to be Ben Howard up to bat, followed by Steffens and Frendrick. Actually, going to be Steffens up to bat first. So it's going to be the 9-hole hitter to start it. He's had a rough one as well, 0 for 3. And that's a pure 0 for 3. He hasn't had a single walk either today, as he's going to ground that one out to Cisneros. Cisneros throws across. That's going to drag him off the base, and that is going to be a, let's see what they score it, but that should be an error on the throw by Cisneros. And so that's how rallies can start right there. As Cross Stevens, the 9-hole hitter, gets on by, they're going to say it's a single off that throw, but by a miscue from the shortstop Cisneros. And so let's flip that lineup over, as Miles Frendrick, the center fielder, is going to come in. He's 0 for 3 as well in that leadoff spot. Has had a walk today, but he was a player that was jumping out to us when we look on the score sheet, but here he's unable to record anything. For Long Beach, you must assume that their mindset is get to the next guy. As right here, Frendrick is going to hit that one. That's going to be a single out there to left field. And so here comes Long Beach. Don't count them out. As, oh, wow, Cross Stevens almost got tripped up right there, and what would have been a disastrous way to get the lead runner out for Pasadena. So back-to-back singles here. Don't count out the Vikings. This would be a tough watch for Pasadena if they somehow blow this 4-7 lead here in the 9th. Then we're going to have to talk it over. There's nobody warming out in the bullpen. Wouldn't be shocked if we see someone going soon. Sergio Robles. Has had a tough day. You see Coach McGee out there. Let's see if his message resonates with the guys in a point where Pasadena is 3 outs away from a win here against a team that is right on their heels in the standings. Sergio Robles on the mound here, pitching to number 22, which is going to be the 2-hole hitter, Enrique Lopez, the catcher for Long Beach City College. 1 ball. Here's the pitch. That one's going to be a grounder. It's the Cisneros, so it's going to get 1 out at second. And it's going to be a close play. The umpire is going to say that that was safe there at first. So Pasadena gets the out on the trailing runner. So it's going to be runners on first and third now. That almost was an amazing play right there by Cisneros, but having to wander over at third or the second base to get the tag there ended up costing a little bit of time. So it goes in as a fielder's choice for a first out, as that one's going to be hit, and let's see if he's able to range under it. He gets it, and so they're going to get the out there. Now it's going to be 2 outs. Pasadena is 1 out away after that fly out to Escamilla, a very shallow flyout. 2 outs here. Sergio Robles still out there, and he's going to have to face Carson Slager. Or it's actually going to be Aaron Mingo. Aaron Mingo in there. He's 0 for 4 today. It's been a tough day at the office for him with a strikeout and a ground into a double play. And here, his goal should be to keep the game alive for the Vikings. And if he's somehow able to put a drive into one, he could tie this game up. Let's see what happens here. 1-0 count. Mingo watches that one for a strike. It's going to be 1-1 now. It's a save situation for Robles. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be a dribbler. It's going to be a fair ball. It gets past the infield here. It's going to be a single. 1 run comes across. Aaron Mingo does his job, keeps the game alive for the Vikings, and it's going to be 5-7. Holding your breath here. So now it's going to be the big Carson Slager out there, the first baseman. With the bat in his hands, he had put his body on the line after Isaac Tone, pretty sure, hit a ball and it ran right into him. Yeah, it was Isaac Tone who had this interesting play where he ran down the first base line, ended up running into him. He called him out on batter's interference here. Slager with a slug at the ball. 1-1 now, 2 outs. It's been quite the game for both of these teams. PCC 1 pitch away from getting out of it if they can get any work. Here, that one's going to be drilled by Slager. That's going to head to left field. That's going to be an out recorded by Escamilla, and PCC comes away with the win. There's definitely some amped up attitudes here from Pasadena as they come away with the win 5-7 in the rubber match against the Long Beach Vikings. It was a great game here. As you see, victory formation taking way as Pasadena comes away with a game just under 3 hours long here at Jackie Robinson Field. That was a great one as Pasadena starts a little bit of a win streak as they are winning by 2 runs here. And we see they're going to have a little bit of a meeting out there. Definitely better tempers than when we last saw them against Golden West. Is coming away with a win. It was a close one that you held your breath every moment. Sergio Robles ended up getting the final pitch and the final out. Escamilla making the grab out there in left field. And it was a great game here at Jackie Robinson Field. Thank you all for listening. My name was Aaron Serrano, as you saw right there. And thank you, and have a good rest of your day.